Cookin. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making candied chicken, toasted rice and pasta pilaf, carrot casserole, romaine and artichoke salad, and carrot cake. So we're going to start with the cake so we can get that baking. I have 4 large eggs that I'm going to beat here. To that, I'm going to add 1½ cup of oil. This is canola oil. 2 cups of flour. 2 cups of granulated sugar. A teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of salt, and 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. We've made a carrot cake on Country Cookin' when we first started out about 3 years ago. But this recipe is from my sister Carrie, and she makes it for family gatherings. It's always the first thing to go. It's a wonderful recipe. So I asked her if she minded if I made it, and she gave me the recipe. So I think you'll like it. Although it has walnuts in the batter, so if someone can't have nuts or anything, or doesn't like the texture of nuts in it, you may want to leave them out. But it's really a delicious cake. To this, I'm going to add 3 cups of shredded carrots, and 1½ cups of chopped walnuts. I chopped them pretty fine. And it makes a thick batter, so you want to start watching your oven at about 45 minutes and see how it's doing. And then it normally takes at least 50 minutes, but depending on how your oven bakes, you just may want to start watching it at about that 45-minute point. Okay. We have it all combined. We put it in a greased pan. As you can see, it's a stiff, thick batter. Okay, I'm going to pop it in the oven. We're going to bake it at 350. I've got my oven preheated. So we're going to take a quick break while we clean up. We'll be right back.
Fast internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
Okay, we're going to start working on the candied chicken. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil to my pan. And then I've got 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I'm going to salt and pepper before we put them in here. So we'll just start with one at a time. We want to brown these about 5 minutes on each side. I had to bone my own chicken breast, so I have a couple odd pieces here. This is a recipe that kids love because they like things a little bit sweeter. And you can do some variations of this if you do have chicken breasts that you want to do with the bone in, then you would not brown them, but you'd have to bake them about an hour and a half. So this is definitely the speedier method, especially if you've had a busy day at school or work or something and you want to do dinner in a hurry. This is a better way to do it. When you sear the meat, that's searing the juices, and that's what we want to do. We're going to be doing it on a medium-high heat. So while I'm waiting for this, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay? We're going to mix up the sauce for the chicken. I have a half cup of ketchup, a half cup of white wine vinegar, and a 1/4 cup of packed light brown sugar. We need a cup of maple syrup. I'm using Mrs. Butterworth's. You can use whatever you have. Whisk it all together. Okay, I'm putting the chicken breasts in here, what would be the skin side down, because they have a little bit of an indentation. That way the sauce is going to soak down in and penetrate a little better at the beginning. We're going to cover it with some aluminum foil. We're baking it at 325 for 45 minutes. Then we're going to remove the foil, flip the chicken, and bake it for another 15 minutes. So we'll take a break while we clean up. We'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
we're gonna work on the carrots. I have a 1/4 cup of butter that I've melted in here, and to that, I'm going to add, I've finely chopped a small onion, and we're gonna saute that in here. So it starts to get a little bit transparent. I use carrots a lot for my vegetable because they give color to the plate, and if you've watched my show before, I'm all about color on when you prepare a meal, especially if you have company. You want it to look appetizing, and when everything's all one color, it's just not, it just doesn't look as nice, doesn't make the nice presentation. So carrots are a good thing. Green, asparagus or beans or something like that are good too, but carrots always make a nice presentation. Okay, these are starting to cook down. To that I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour. Kind of stir that in. A 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. A 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt. A 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. A 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. Stir that in. And we're going to stir in 2 cups of milk. Okay, now you want to cook this until it gets thick, and pretty much want to stir it constantly so that it doesn't burn to the bottom of your pan. Now, I want to remind you again that if you want a copy of any of these recipes, if you have internet, go to the Valley website, www.valleytel.net. You'll see the Country Cooking Cow on there. That's where you find all the recipes. If you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'll be happy to help you with a recipe. We're going to take a break while I wait for this to thicken so you don't have to stand and watch me stir. We'll be right back. I have peeled and sliced about 12 medium carrots, and I've sliced them kind of on a diagonal. They just look prettier, and I brought them to a boil for about 5 minutes. They're still kind of crisp tender. You don't want them to be mushy, but you want them to be just a little bit cooked. So I'm going to take half of these and put them in an 8x8. I'm going to put about half the sauce in here. Spread it around like that. And then it calls for grated American cheese. I couldn't find any grated or anything to grate. It was all sliced. So I'm going to just lay slices in here. And they're actually quite thin, so I'm going to double layer it. We're going to put the rest of the carrots. And try to spread them as evenly as you can. The rest of the sauce. The rest of the cheese. Do that one more time. Okay, now we're going to sprinkle it with buttered breadcrumbs. Okay, this is gonna bake at 350 for about 45 minutes, so I'm gonna take it and put it in the other oven. We'll be right back.
At Valley Telecommunications, we pride ourselves in providing the home team advantage. But what does that mean? It means going above and beyond to take care of our customers' needs by providing exceptional customer service, because helping you helps all of us. As a cooperative, each time you subscribe to our services, you are investing in our community, which allows all of us to build and benefit from the newest technologies. Make the switch today to Valley Telecommunications and experience the home team advantage.
We're going to work on the toasted rice and pasta pilaf. I have thin spaghetti, 2 ounces, and I've broken them into like 1-inch pieces. So toss those in. I've got a tablespoon of vegetable oil that I heated in here, and then I'm adding 3/4 cup of long grain white rice, and we want to stir those in the oil until they just start to look like they're toasted. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes. This is kind of an interesting, when I first tried this recipe, instead of the normal rice pilaf, it's just rice and then you add your other things to it. The spaghetti pasta kind of gives it an interesting texture, and then it's got the kind of longer spindly spaghetti in there, so it just makes an interesting pilaf. To this then, I have a small onion that is finely chopped. I actually used my little mini chopper so I could get it nice and fine. Just another minute or so. And in about a minute, I'm going to add the onion, and then we're going to cook that for about 3 more minutes. So we'll take a break so you don't have to stand there and watch me do this. So we'll be right back. We're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth, a 1/4 cup of butter, and a teaspoon each of salt and pepper. get this butter melted down in there. And then also we're going to add a half of a bay leaf, and you may think it's kind of funny why a half, because in a dish like this, a bay leaf is very strong, for lack of a better word. So if you use a whole bay leaf, it might get, some people might like that, but it just gets a little bit overpowering. So we're just going to stir in one, and then when we're going to serve, then we'll discard the bay leaf. So we want to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer until all the liquid is absorbed. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to go out and check the cake. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to turn the chicken. Okay, we're going to leave it uncovered. We're going to put it back in and let it bake for another 15 minutes. And then we're going to start the salad. I have 6 cups of romaine lettuce that I have cleaned and torn. And to that we're going to add artichoke hearts. I'm going to chop these because some of them are a little bit big. I've been draining them. These are marinated artichoke hearts. This is out of a jar like this. This is a 12-ounce jar, so the recipe calls for about 6 ounces. If you want a little more, you can add a little more, but once you get the rest of the things sprinkled around in there, you should be pretty good. So it kind of looks like that. Then the recipe calls for wedges of tomatoes. The tomatoes in the store were not real red, so I chose instead to do the grape tomatoes. And I always like a little bit of crunch in an Italian salad, so I picked up some seasoned croutons. You can make your own if you like, but sometimes you want to serve those on the side in case you have leftover salad, then you don't have the soggy croutons in the middle of the, in the salad. So we're going to stir together the dressing. This calls for 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 6 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil. If olive oil is a little strong for you, you can buy light tasting olive oil. We're going to finish up the dressing. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese to the dressing. According to a dressing server. Just a reminder that if you are not planning on using the entire salad at one time, I always recommend serving the dressing on the side. That way it doesn't get soggy, and the next time you have it, it won't be so wilty. So then we're also going to sprinkle another 2 tablespoons directly onto the salad. We're going to use that there. The croutons on the side there. Okay, so we're going to quick throw together the frosting. I've got an 8-ounce cream cheese that's softened, and to that I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of melted butter. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 'You want to beat it until it's smooth and it's not lumpy anymore. So once you get to that point, then you want to gradually add the powdered sugar. We have 2 cups here that I've sifted. Add a little bit at a time. Scrape the sides a little bit. Now, if you want to decorate this cake up a little bit, you can also sprinkle the top with like coarsely ground walnuts. And we're going to do that today just to make it look a little more festive. If you're really artistic, you can save some of this frosting and put some orange food coloring in it and make carrots for Easter, or for just something fun. This recipe for cream cheese frosting too is not as sweet as some of them, where it uses a full 8 ounces of cream cheese and just 2 cups of powdered sugar, where some use just 3 ounces of cream cheese. So this makes it not quite as sweet. I'm going to grab some walnuts here real quick. I have this cute little chopper from tomorrow that saves me a lot of work. I do my onions and everything in there, but I'm just going to toss just a handful of, oops, I've got pecans. That'll actually work. Just coarsely chop it and sprinkle it over the top. Looks like that. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break and clean up. We'll be right back.
Internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
We're going to get the rice finished off here. First we're going to dig out that bay leaf. There it is. Got the bay leaf. We're going to add a 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. And parsley. If you have fresh parsley, use that. If you don't, I'm going to use everything I've got in there. You want about a 1/4 cup or so. Stir it together. Okay, let's see. Just the chicken now, I think, right? I think we're ready to dish. Let's start with a piece of cake. Now the salad, what you want to do with a good Italian salad, you can also add something like a red onion or some olives if you want, but this is a very simple salad. But I would serve, after you put the dressing on, I would serve fresh ground pepper grinder on the side of that. So let your guests do it themselves. I'm using sea salt. Give it a little bit of a toss. Okay. Okay, there we go. We have our candied chicken, our toasted rice and pasta pilaf, our carrot casserole, our romaine and artichoke salad, and our carrot cake. Thanks for joining us today on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.